Right, 2016 higher level question 7. We have a chimney stack once again. So I'll read through the questions, we'll look at the important keywords, explain those, and get through the question. A chimney stack projects through the pitched roof of a house as shown. The chimney stack is of solid concrete block construction with an external sand cement render. The roof is a slated cut roof and is pitched at 45 degrees. To a scale of 1 to 5, draw a vertical section through the chimney stack and roof structure. Show the typical construction details of the chimney stack, flue, chimney capping, and portion of the adjoining roof structure. Include the design details to prevent the penetration of rainwater between the chimney stack and the adjoining roof surface. Part B. On your drawing, show 2 considerations to be taken into account in the design of the chimney stack shown, which will help prevent a downdraft. Include typical dimensions as shown. Right, so basically what we have is a chimney stack which is passing through a roof, and we have to show the internal details of all of that. A couple of words there that we're going to underline, we'll work our way through it. A chimney stack, so as we know, a chimney stack is basically the whole structure of the chimney. Projects through a pitched roof of a house as shown. The chimney stack is of solid concrete block construction, so it's made out of solid blocks with an external sand cement render, so there's a plaster on the outside of it. The roof is slated, it's a cut roof, and is pitched at 45 degrees. They're important things there. To a scale of 1 to 5, draw a vertical section through the chimney stack and roof structure. Show the typical construction details of the chimney stack, the flue, chimney capping, and portion of the adjoining roof. And then include the details to show the prevention of rainwater getting through. Now, a couple of things to explain there, which we've explained before, but we'll do it again. First of all, the chimney capping, that's just a piece that goes on top. Chimney capping is something we should all be familiar with. Any chimney has it. They come in different shapes and sizes as well. The flue is the area inside the chimney where smoke passes up through it. So if I was to get a drawing of the chimney stack, so essentially what we're doing is this detail here. And the flue is this area here, the area where the smoke passes up through. These pieces here are called the flue liners. They're made of clay or ceramic material, and they're joined together like with a little housing joint in position there. A picture of a flue liner. It looks something like this. They come in different shapes and sizes, and they have this little area here where when you build them up, the next one would slot down into that little recess area, and it's bonded with a mortar cement mix material. They come in bends if you have to work your way around a corner, and that's another way of joining them up to there as well. Okay, so that's what your flue liner is. In between the flue liner and the wall, we have like a sand, cement, and lime mix. So it's like just a cement mix basically, which holds the whole thing secure and fills up that gap. And in here, it's very, very important that we stop rainwater getting in that area, and even getting down through here. Right, it's channeled out in certain ways. We'll go through the parts that have the prevention there. So in the middle of the chimney, we have this drainage channel, a metal tray that's built into the middle of it, and basically any water or dirt that falls down into the chimney is collected here, and it is channeled out through these little spaces here, and there's a little lead apron which goes out over the front of it. That's another little bit of apron flashing that goes on the front of the chimney. This is the lead flashing that goes down the side of the chimney. It's slotted into each of the slates down the side. That's the lead flashing that goes on the back. Alright, and it's got a little gutter there which helps to guide the rainwater away. And that there is roughly what it looks like. And again, if you look at any chimney around your area, you will see that lead all the way around the chimney. So that's the apron at the front. That's those little bits slotted into the slates and up the side of the chimney there, and that's that back bit of lead flashing piece there. If you look at that dashed line around there, that represents the metal tray on the inside of the chimney that's channeling water out as well. There's little weep holes on the front of the chimney which help that water get taken out. There's a circle there which shows that the flue liners are able to pass up through that metal tray as well. Alright, so that's just a couple of those important keywords explained. So the way I like to approach these questions is to draw the actual chimney stack structure first of all, and then build a roof around it. It's kind of the handiest way to do it. So when doing it, it's always good to have your page at a portrait orientation, because this tends to be quite a big drawing, a long and high drawing, especially when it's 1:5. Right, so there's the bottom corner of my page. My approach to this is to draw in the center, up through the center of the page is the actual chimney stack structure itself. So I'll go through this and I do it all lightly first of all. So what I would do first is down the middle of the page, draw a 100mm block structure first of all. I'll extend those a bit higher. That sand cement mixture, again around 60 or so millimeters. There is room for variation on size in that. Thickness of a flue liner, again 3 or 4 millimeters will be fine. The diameter of flue liner, the regulation says that it must be at least 194. I always like to go just across 200 because it's a nice manageable number. And then your 3 or 4 millimeters for the thickness of the flue liner. Your 60mm cement mix, and then your 100mm wall. Alright, so again, that's all drawn lightly first. Just extend it up all the way up through the page and we can start building from there. Now, the next thing that I would work on will be, I put in some blocks first of all. I just pick a random point there and start building up my 2 to 5 blocks. Obviously make those sure they all line up exactly with each other and go from there. Next, the height of the flue liners can vary. Alright, let's say that's the top of a flue liner. I like to make my flue liners 300mm. If you go 350 or 400, that'll be fine also. So measure down your 300mm or 400, whatever it is, for each of your flue liners. The size of those will depend on the manufacturer, and we must draw in that little area where it sticks out. To show that joint. So again, in terms of size there, don't worry too much about size, just use your own judgment. Do it neatly. Use your set squares to get those bits drawn in properly. And just try and make sure whatever size you use for one, you use that on all of them. Okay. Make sure they all look the same. I rub out a few of those lines. Alright. Now that's the flue liners, the little joints in the flue liners drawn into place. The chimney capping can go on top there, so pick your top point. I'll just take that block there for example, and I would draw that down like that. Again, the size of the chimney capping, there is room for variation on that. Hang on there now. What I will do with that chimney capping is come down to this block here, because it does stick out a decent bit. So I'll come down to this block here, extend on there, go up maybe around 20mm, come out here and go up around maybe 10mm, and you have your angle there. Just make sure both of your chimney cappings are the same size on both sides, and then you can rub out whatever's not needed, and you can see the flue liner sticks out a decent bit over the top of that. Alright, that cement mix just kind of represented by dots because it's a fine cement mix, sort of a fireproof cement, and that's that bit done there. Now that's the chimney stack structure all done. You now need to draw in the roof structure that's built around that. The question tells us it's a 45-degree angle on the pitch on the roof, so go out your 45 degrees there. Rafter is 150. Extend that, they must line up of course, and you're going down there. Okay, the metal DPC tray. So we'll do a bit of our waterproofing here now, right? Use a colored pen. The metal DPC tray must go a little bit above there. So the next block that's above that, there must be at least 150 millimeters there. We will go across there with your metal DPC tray that kind of wraps in there. That's what collects any dirt or water that falls down in there, and it can be taken away. Then there is lead flashing that comes out of that as well. But before we do that, we might just draw some slates here. So draw your first batten here, 50 by 35. Just make your own judgment on the gap. Come down your 350. Draw your next batten. Draw a slate. Now that slate needs to extend all the way to the end there. And there'll be another slate coming off the top of that as well. All right, draw those slates in. There's lead flashing, which comes out there, down there, and across there. All right, so that's the front apron, which I showed you a picture of it off of the book before that. Next, your first block above there, so I'll go up maybe a little bit higher. This needs to be a bit higher. You've got that back guttering. It comes down off a block, about to there. This goes straight across. It doesn't go right to the corner because rainwater can gather there too easily. So it goes straight across there and it goes up. What you'll have here is a little fillet piece of wood, an angled piece of wood, which allows our first slate is going to start there, and that lead flashing will wrap up around there. There's a little bit of support underneath that, so there's a piece of wood is put into place underneath that, and that's that. From there, you can build up your 35 for your next slate, and the slates are built up along there. All right, and that pretty much covers all that. We've got our roofing felt underneath all of that, as always, and that's pretty much the roof structure done. The downdraft, the part B, where it says the downdraft. So basically, a downdraft is any situation where smoke is able to work its way back down the chimney and billow into your sitting room, which is not a good thing. You always want the draft going up the way in the chimney. Now, if there's too much activity or air pressure up here, that will push the smoke back down, which is called the downdraft. The chimney needs to be well clear of the roof to prevent any drafts coming up over the chimney from the ridge. Okay, so there's a couple of measurements. If so the measurement from here, right, so where the chimney hits the higher part of the roof, right, if the gap from the top of the chimney over to the ridge of the roof, the top of the roof, is greater than 600, well then this distance must be more than a meter. If the gap from here to the top of the roof is less than 600, well then the top of this chimney to the ridge of the roof must be at least 600 or less than 600. I'll explain that better with the final solution once we get that. So, take that away. First of all, you can see it's quite a big detail on the A2 page. All right. Something I forgot to draw in actually were these trimmer joists. There's a joist there, and a joist there just going across the chimney, kind of like a little square section. You've got that area there. You've got the metal tray. You've got that work. And my one, I just drew a ridge to show you the other way that that's done. So essentially what I was saying was, if the distance from the chimney over to the ridge of the roof, if that is less than 600, there must be a height from here to here of more than 600 or not less than 600. So basically the chimney must go more than 600 millimeters above, because if that's below there, wind can blow over the roof and it'll be blowing over the top of the chimney, and it'll be blowing the smoke back down. If that distance is greater than 600, so from the ridge over to there, so if it's more than 600 millimeters, which mostly it is, there must be at least a meter from there to there, the higher part of that. And that's your part B answer. It just explains that downdraft. So essentially what you need is the chimney to be well above the roof. Now, not too high, but well above the roof, so that there's no draft coming over this and kind of wind blowing up over there, which will push chimney back down, smoke back down. All right, so there's the final solution. Have a look at that and give it a go.